Closing the food loop. The mission of the Vermicomposting Program Implementation Manual and free worm bin starter kit is to spread awareness about waste reduction efforts by encouraging schools to collect organic waste and process it using vermicomposting. Your free worm bin starter kit includes the Vermicomposting Program Implementation Manual, the classroom worm bin materials and assembly instructions, labels for waste collection bins, promotional materials, the roles and responsibilities contact sheet, a guide to connecting composting to school curriculum, and a special worm-themed desktop calendar. Vermiculture is the culture of earthworms in order to continually increase their population to use for various purposes. Compost is gathered organic material that has been broken down by organisms into humus, organic matter that is full of nutrients. Vermicomposting is the process by which worms are used to convert waste into vermicompost, which is made of worm castings, compost from other organisms, and partially decomposed matter. Caring for the worm bin is really fun and easy and a great way to teach students about nature's recycling process and waste reduction efforts. With creativity and encouragement, teachers can engage students in a convenient system of waste reduction. Vermicomposting is very beneficial in the classroom because students get to see what is happening to their food waste, learn to tend to the worm bin, do research and conduct experiments, and use the rich compost in a school garden or to sell for fundraisers. Students can be proud that they are having a positive impact on the environment. Worms eat many of the same things that humans do. They like fruits, vegetables, grains, coffee grounds, newspapers, and anything else that is organic. Because worms do not have teeth, ground up eggshells or gritty soil can help worms to grind up food scraps. Surprisingly, worms are not vegetarians. However, for classroom worm bins, it is better to not add any meat, dairy, or oily foods because they create unpleasant odors that can attract unwanted organisms into the bin that may even carry diseases. Some residents of the worm bin can throw off the balance of your worm bin, such as fruit flies, ants, and mites. Other organisms you will find in your bin, like springtails and mold, help worms by breaking down the food waste first. Annelids are segmented worms, and unlike humans, worms do not have lungs. Instead, they respire through the entire surface of their bodies, the exodermis. Oxygen dissolves in the moisture of the worm's exodermis and then passes through their bloodstream. Worms need enough moisture to maintain their body's moisture content, which is similar to that of a human at 75 to 90%. The redworm's muscular gizzard functions similarly to that of a bird. Small particles of sand and minerals lodged in the gizzard are used to aid in digestion. Muscle contractions compress the particles against each other, and food, mixed with enzymatic fluid, are ground into smaller particles. Undigested matter passes through the intestines as castings. A redworm's intestine is a long tube that extends from the gizzard to the anus. Food passes through this tube by peristaltic muscle movement, which means the progressive waves of contraction and relaxation. Worm castings are excreted through the anus, which is at the end of the intestine. If you are experiencing trouble with your worm bin, a variety of factors could be to blame. Troubleshooting is all about experimentation, so if a problem occurs, test out potential solutions and continue to check your bin daily until you see an improvement. Once your compost is ready, there are a few methods that can be used for harvesting. If your class does not mind getting their hands dirty, the cone method can be used to separate the compost piles so that worms burrow down and compost can be sifted through. To harvest quickly, the migration method can be used by pushing compost to one side of the bin and placing fresh bedding on an empty side. The worms begin feeding in the new area and compost can be removed. If you only want to harvest a small amount of compost at a time, use the scooping method. Open the bin and wait 10 minutes so that worms can burrow away from the light. Scoop out the top layer of compost and there should be few worms to be separated out. Wait 10 more minutes before beginning the process again. A school garden can be a food source and an outdoor classroom. Teaching in the garden is a great way for kids to learn healthy eating habits and discover that fruits and vegetables taste delicious. Through the introduction of the Farm to School Act, school garden yields can be supplemented with local produce to create a fresh new cafeteria menu. Organic waste can be recycled back into the garden as vermicompost instead of being wasted in a landfill. By closing the food loop, resources are being recycled, fresh food is being grown, and children are eating their fruits and vegetables. For more information on implementing a school garden or farm to school program in your school, request your free kits today. The free worm bin starter kit includes one 12-gallon plastic bin with holes drilled into the bottom, 4 plastic bin raisers, 4 metal nails, a drip tray, shredded paper bedding, and a bag of 1,000 red wiggling worms. The quadrant layout sheet will help keep track of where new organic waste should be added in the bin. Rotating quadrants is an important part of the composting process. Easy to understand labels for waste collection bins is the best way to ensure that students, faculty, and staff will be able to sort waste correctly. Label each bin according to what waste will go into it. The free kit includes promotional materials for implementing a school-wide composting program in the cafeteria and classrooms. It is important to gain support and awareness for the program to be successful. Vermicomposting literature is a great way for students, parents, faculty, and community members to understand what this program entails. There are many different ways to raise money for a vermicomposting program. Packaging and selling worms and vermicompost to community gardeners, local farms, and bait shops is a great way to raise awareness and funding. You can also create your own worm bin starter kits to sell at open houses, science fairs, PTA meetings, and back to school nights. The free worm bin starter kit includes sample promotional materials that can be used for celebrating waste reduction. International Compost Awareness Week, Earth Day, Green Up Day, and America Recycles Day are existing celebrations that can be connected to the vermicomposting program. Creating a school compost club, contests, and prizes are also ideas to gain awareness. The roles and responsibilities contact sheet helps team members stay organized, accountable, and productive during the implementation process and beyond. There are so many fun and creative ways to incorporate vermicomposting research and experience into the classroom. Check out our curriculum guides for information and activities. Here's a preview of our personal gift to you, a worm-themed desktop calendar to remind you of the importance of vermicomposting. Thank you, and good luck implementing your program.